Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Auto-TerraFirmaCraft. Today I want to look into automating charcoal production with bamboo and the crate mod machinery. Hopefully that works out, but first we actually need to do our TerraFirmaCraft tasks. Gotta survive, so we need to harvest the crops and the jute here. The soybeans are not quite ready yet, just some of them. That's actually maybe a good thing. So I was thinking, instead of harvesting them all at once and then half of it spoils, why not just harvest like 10 plants, turn that into food immediately and let the other ones sit out, because there's actually no spoil time on the mature plants, unlike for example with pumpkins and melons. So if I come back in 2 months, then I just get fresh produce again. So no reason, I think, to harvest all of the soybeans at once. I think just in winter they might die, so yeah. That's probably a good plan. But yeah, the old wheat, jute can definitely be harvested. Grains last like 2 years almost in the vessels. So there's really no point waiting that out. That's actually also interesting. The rye actually grew. Bit surprised because I thought it would need a colder climate. Definitely grows slower than oat and wheat. But it would definitely be interesting to have more of that stuff. It's very uncommon in the south. Only saw it once. And only got 6 seeds of that, but of course, I would want more of that stuff because it gives you the 1.5 grain nutrition value compared to 1.0 which you get from the oats and wheat. So maybe you should actually at some point take a trip up north, maybe even visit Methods and get a bit more rye. It's way more common there and easy to find. Also barley can be found there. Okay, so I only took out 10 of the soybean and potato plants. Got 19 and 16. Guess we can make some good soybean, potato, cheese sandwiches. Okay, let's just take out, still got some bread left that I made I think 3 months ago. And some cheese. There we go. Let's go to the kitchen. At this point I'm also so annoyed that I have to turn on those torches all the time. I think we could actually try to get the crushing wheels so we can crush some yellow sand into glowstone dust so we can get everlasting torches. It's about time. Maybe next thing we do after trying to automate charcoal. Okay, yeah, we got all the ingredients. Let's make the good sandwiches. Cheese, soybean, potato. There you go, 16 of those. And yeah, we even got ingredients left for another batch. There we go, and that's the good stuff. Let's also check up on the chickens. Here they all are. Got 3 roosters now, but I was so busy making the windmill that I didn't even feed them. So the familiarity is at 0. So I don't think they would be of any use right now. Also got some baby chickens and a baby rooster again. Also completely missed feeding the baby chickens. Once again, I would need to get more grain. I was thinking we should maybe even make some sort of an automatic contraption because it's kind of so hard to keep up with those guys, especially if you're out exploring or you're busy making something. Every day you gotta feed them and you need to get to the threshold of feeding them like 5 days in a row so their familiarity doesn't decay anymore. I was thinking we have right-clicking machines now. Why don't we trap the baby chickens and have a deployer trying to feed them grain all the time? Then it should be easy to actually get them to 100. Then we could release them again. So we maybe add a little extra thing to this chicken coop where we raise the familiarity. I think that would be a really good idea. Oh, I also just realized the deployer needs to be powered from somewhere. Would be actually kind of inconvenient now to lay shafts all the way from back there to the chicken coop. Maybe I just pick up 1 chicken and we build a little test setup next to the crate mod stuff. So let's see, what's the youngest chicken? This one becomes an adult in 2 days already. Okay. 4 days, 1 month, the rooster. Could get him up to 60 as far as I know in that amount of time. Oh, it's good enough for a test. Okay, I think I'm just gonna bring the guy over. As far as I know, the deployer also works through a block because you always have to place it 2 blocks apart from the thing you wanna basically feed or trigger. So the plan is not just to get the rooster in a 1 by 1 by 1 and then have to deploy acting on it. Okay, so I hooked it up here in the back. Also at the slower part, so it doesn't use a ton of stress units. Okay, let's get the chicken in there. Of course he hops. Okay, there we go. No one's coming. Okay, let's see. There we go. Place on the glass block. Now I can't go anywhere. I could even place one above. That has to be... How do I get rid of the lead now? Yep, that's gonna make some shots. If I want to pick up my lead again. There we go. And now we give the grain to the deployer here. How could I tell if it worked? Gotta break it again. Familiarity is still at 0. We saw with the ladder making that the deployer aims at a certain pixel. Maybe the chicken is actually so small that it doesn't really work. Try to push him around a bit. Might be a good idea. Oh. Tries to get away immediately. This could be quite tricky. Doesn't like to be clicked, that's for sure. And it didn't raise the familiarity. It's a bit frustrating. Maybe if I try this in creative, because I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing wrong right now. Seems like it does work, but it just doesn't raise the familiarity. So if I put a cow in there and give 32 grain to the deployer, we'll have 31. But the familiarity wasn't raised. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping we could automate this. I think I actually know what the problem is. I saw some hearts there. I think the problem is that you need to shift right click to feed the animals. If you just do right click, you get the vanilla love mode. If you shift right click, you can feed them. As far as I know, you can switch between right and left clicking. Clicking the front of the deployer. Now we would punch instead. But I'm not sure if the deployer can shift click somehow. I don't think so. Oh, that's such a shame. I should really do that. Okay, so let's scrap those plans here. I did message the mod maker though, and he also seemed to be interested in being able to automate this later. So maybe in upcoming episodes we can actually do this. But right now it seems like no way. Let's get back to our initial plan of somehow automating bamboo production to get charcoal out of this. So in vanilla, of course, we would make a flying machine with hopper minecarts and so on. But in crate mode, we got a more intended way. So we're gonna use a saw for this. It has the ability to cut down bamboo. Okay, I'm gonna pick up this one here. We need to place it sideways now. I just place it here on the side. Oh, and flip it. Is it able to spin or I think, no, it should be able to spin, yep. Okay, then we can place some bamboo in front just for a demonstration. There we go, and it would cut it down. Okay, but this would be a quite inefficient way of doing this. Because we would need, if we do it like this, if it's static, then you would need a saw for every bamboo plant. That's why also in vanilla, instead of having stationary pistons, you make a flying machine. But in create mode, we could actually attach a saw to a structure that moves like the windmill here. So we could cover a larger area with fewer saws. We're still gonna need a couple for what I have in mind, but yeah, it would be definitely way more efficient than something static. I think something like 12 of those saw blocks should be enough. Actually quite expensive. You need to make 12 of those circular saws and they require an iron sheet each. Unfortunately, we can't really use the machinery for all of it because we could use the mechanical press to convert the double ingot into a sheet. Then we still need to forge it ourselves, the circular saw. Back to the anvil basically. But yeah, even making that double ingot is already an issue. In order to do so, we would need a mechanical press, and then below we would need this coal forge. So this is the coal block that we apply the flint and steel on, and we can't make it yet without steel. Also actually checked if maybe a fire charge would work. It's also not the case, so we really need steel before we can do that. Okay, then I guess I'm just gonna do all the metal working directly on the anvil and immediately turn 24 of those ingots into 12 of those saws. I think I get actually really good at doing this. There we go, sheet. Then I actually got a really good recipe to make the saw. It's shrink 3 times, upset, then upset again, bend, and upset. Makes the saw directly. Okay, I got 12 of those mechanical saws now. Now we need to attach those to a bearing. So there is actually a mechanical bearing that I could use. This one here. But it has a disadvantage that we actually need to provide stress units. So I'm thinking, why not actually attach it directly to a windmill bearing and some sails? Then we even produce energy while we rotate the saws around it, cut down the bamboo. Okay, so that would be the plan. In order to actually connect the mechanical saw, I either would need super glue or a chassis. The problem with the super glue is it requires a tin sheet, and that's cassiterite, which I haven't found yet. But I can also just make a couple of those chassis. There we go. They only require igneous alloy and a couple logs. Let's do that instead. Unfortunately, the amount of igneous alloy I have available is rapidly decreasing. Still got a couple magma blocks yet, but I'm afraid I have to warm up cobble soon again. Oh boy. Also, there's actually something I really should make now. We just had a thunderstorm, and I'm afraid some of the exposed wooden structures we have, like the roof here, could burn down eventually. So we should make a lightning rod. You can make the vanilla lightning rod. It just costs you a couple copper rods. Lightning rod. This one here. This should protect us. Okay. There's also something else that we could actually use the gunpowder for. It's in mob drops. You can actually craft fire charges out of it, which will be a bit more convenient than the fire starters. So if you have a bit of lignite, there we go. Fire starter. So what is the recipe again? And the gunpowder. You can make fire charges. Let's actually do that. Fire charge here. Not sure if we need a unused one. Nope. But it uses one up. Unfortunately, we don't have more gunpowder available. Mob farm, of course, would solve that issue, but it would definitely be so much more convenient instead of using the fire charger if you could just use this instead. Still gotta shift right click it, right? Oh, I wasted one, no coal in there? That's the problem. Do this instead. Yeah. We need a mob farm. Okay, let's make 2. Should definitely help a bit. Where do I plant it even? Somewhere safe. I think the range, what was it in vanilla? Like 100 blocks or so? Should be good enough. Let's put it here for now. Lots of digging so far, so this would be the available flat space I have so far. I feel like I should actually take out one more layer and then we're good. Yeah, in case we want to maybe expand it or whatever, having a couple of blocks extra would be neat. Dirt, 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 and all without instant mining. Okay, I think we should have enough available flat space here on top. So I think I'm gonna start by placing the windmill bearing, a couple of sails, chassis, and the saws. Okay, let's do this. So windmill bearing and then chassis. Yep, I think like this. Then we need the glue, but we have some left over. And make those sides sticky so we can put the saw in front. Did I bring those? No, I'm gonna run real quick. Okay, let's do this. So windmill bearing. we go. And then we can place the chassis on top. Basically what the chassis does, it connects a structure. If I would only place like a single block on top, it would only rotate one block above. Okay, but the chassis basically connects together. Just gonna flip it. I really need to learn those flipping rules. Okay, and I was thinking we actually place like 14 and don't have saws here on those blocks, because if this spins around, then it only covers a very little amount of bamboo. Well, if you actually go out 2 blocks further, then it would cover more on the outside. So just don't place any bamboo immediately around the thing. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Of course, it would also be true if we go even further out. Then we go to 15. Okay, then we can take the glue and make those sides sticky. So now also blocks directly attached there that isn't a chassis would stick to this. There's even a range to this, which you can see here on top. So that means like 8 blocks in this direction would now stick to the chassis. If you want to decrease that to a single block, because here's where the saw goes. Where's it in the inventory? There. Because otherwise, if the range would be higher, then the bamboo would actually also be picked up and just get moved. So this block would then also be picked up. Can we even see that or visualize that? Range. As far as, at least as far as I know, I might be wrong on this. We can maybe try it later, but as far as I know, I need to set this all to 1 to not move any bamboo accidentally. Could be wrong though. Okay. There we go. Okay, also on those. Yeah, okay. Then let's place the other saws. Yep. And now we need this portable, what's it called, storage interface. So we can also make the other side sticky. Just place it here. Then we need a second interface on this side. This also can hold like 4 stacks or so, but of course unloads really quickly. So we put a chute below and then just add a double chest. Okay. Then we also want to get some storage on the thing. So we're gonna also add a double chest here on this side. And then I think we only need 1 sticky block. And we can place the sails on this side. So the sails would always connect. Another alternative to the sails would be, by the way, wool blocks. But those wouldn't stick together. They work like normal blocks. So there you would need a super glue again if you want to use wool blocks. But since they are more expensive than the sails anyway, yeah, it's probably best to use sails. Okay, got a drink again. With those TerraFirmaCraft obligations. Then I can add the rest of the sails. By the way, it only really makes sense to place multiples of 8 sails, otherwise you will waste them. So the minimum amount of sails you can place is 8. That gives you 512 stress units, and everything from 8 to 15 gives you also 512 stress units. If you get up to 16, you get 1024, and so on. So I guess we have 16 placed, got 4 left. Yeah, I could place them because I want to increase the amount of cells anyway to 32 ideally. So we create a bit more energy here. Okay, then I guess everything is in place. Can probably turn this on. Okay. Yep. Oh. Did I forget to add glue? Why does this not work? Let's see. Looks like I forgot to add glue. Silly mistake. Only did it on the last one. Okay. Actually doesn't use up the glue, so that's neat. And then we can try it again. And now it spins correctly. Okay. The next step is I'm gonna harvest the bamboo there and plant it around. Good that I actually provided so much space. It looks like I'm gonna need it. So keep in mind we need a lot of bamboo. So 2 bamboo will be crafted into a stick. the 9 sticks into this stick bundle, then 2 of those into the stick lock, and then we need to turn this into ash. And then we have a 20% chance, if you wash the ash, then we get 1 charcoal. So I guess a couple hundred bamboo for 1 charcoal. But since we built this really close to base, this will be loaded a lot of the time, then it doesn't matter if it's too slow, but definitely we need a decently sized farm for this. Okay, of course the corners won't be reached, but my idea was that I just place a square now, then we see what grows higher and cut the bamboo on the side later. Okay, can we even get to the middle now and turn this on? Yeah, left a little bit of space. And I didn't place any around the direct center. Okay, here we go. So it starts chopping it. Yeah, that's actually really good. Can you even check what's in the chest while it's moving? I don't think so. Yeah, that definitely makes a good amount of bamboo. Will take a while to make a full circle. Here's also a better view from above. I think it turned almost a quarter. Yeah, looking good. So I'm just gonna remove the ones that don't get cut down here on the side. Another machine stopped because it's unloading the items, so this should fill up rather quickly. There we go. Full double chest. You might need even more than this if you have more than a double chest attached. Okay, just gonna stop this. Then I'll immediately go back to the default position. Just move the sails here and make those sides sticky as well. Add another double chest and should be enough. Instead of using a double chest here, I think I'm just gonna use a bigger item vault instead. That's also a crate mod thing. So it costs you a chest and some iron sheets around. This can basically be used as a quadruple chest or 8 times chest and so on. I think up to 64, even higher numbers. A lot of items can go in one single item vault. That's the advantage. So you wouldn't need like another chute below the chest to get more storage. You can just use the big item vault instead. Downside is you can't right click it and access the items directly, but you can pump items in and out. So that's the better alternative in this case. I'm gonna make one. So I think unfortunately we have to break the chest here. Then we can replace it with the item vault. I haven't totally figured this out, but I think there's only certain shapes that make sense. Oh god, all the bamboo. Let's show it to the side. Okay. Seems like a 2x2 that is also 2 blocks high is one of those. Yep. So there's one combined structure. Okay. Guess I can throw this back in using the chute. Hopefully at least. Then it also shows you how much there's inside now. Okay, I'm gonna put all the bamboo back in. I wish this would actually just add up the numbers somehow instead of showing every single stack, but yeah, definitely can hold more than a Auto-TerraFirmaCraft double chest already. Okay, so I turned the machine back on. It's working quite well. Still need to cut some of the corners, but yeah, now it's even easier to see since the bamboo is higher which plants I need to take out. And also just made a new axe. Okay, there was good progress for the day, but there's actually a lot that needs to be done. So now we need to craft everything automatically into sticks and so on. Make fans to turn the ashes then into charcoal, or actually burn the logs into ashes first. So this will definitely require a lot of effort. We can do that in the next episode. So we're gonna need a lot of the mechanical crafters anyway. To do the auto crafting, we could also look into making the big crushing wheels so we can finally get the glowstone dust. So those big wheels require a huge mechanical crafter. Here are the crushing wheels. As you can see, it's basically a 5x5 crafting recipe for a lot of alloy. And we need 21 of the crafting machines. Okay, yeah, that's the plan already for next episode. Thanks so much guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.